Good morning, everyone. This is Joe Infante, founder of LegalReviews.org. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Matthew Kamula, who's an attorney with the law firm of the Kamula Law Group, and he's admitted to the California, Florida, and Washington bar. And he specializes, amongst other things, admiralty, maritime business transactions, and real estate work. He's based out of Naples, Florida, and he's going to share with us some insights into his own practice, some of the leading developments that he's dealing with right now in his area of law, and how he differentiates himself from other attorneys in this specialty. So again, Matthew, thank you.
Well, you're more than welcome, Joe. Thank you very much for having me.
Now, just to get started, to give sort of our listeners some insight as to what brought you into the field of law. What made you want to become a lawyer in the first place, Matthew?
Well, very early on, I've always enjoyed advocacy and speaking out for individuals and for other entities. So very early on, it was the proverbial pursuit of justice as my eyes were opened, and I went through law school and then through early practice. It was probably a combination to keep that alive and to also feed my family.
Understood. And is the area of law that you specialize in today, has that always been your area of specialty, or was that something that evolved over time?
The admiralty maritime aspect has always been part of my practice area. Over time, developing with the demographic of client that I am target marketing, I've realized that commercial real estate business transactions have become very complementary to the initial practice area. So in essence, once my clients come in-house, they never have to go out of house.
Understood. Now, typically, did you get involved in the maritime sort of aspect of law because of your love for the sea, or you're a boating guy? I mean, why that and not, let's say, divorce law?
Well, ironically, you should ask that question. It was born out of love of the ocean. I had always wanted to become either a marine biologist or an oceanographer, but doing the research in my last few years in high school, I realized back in the early 80s, your permanent placement potential in a career of oceanography or marine biology was with the government, and there were few and far between jobs to be had there, and the pay potential wasn't great. And on the flip side, your other career path would have been academia, and again, the pay potential there wasn't very great back at the time I was entering the particular field or going to enter the field, plus 7 years out. So I had to extrapolate what I was going to be doing 7 years from entering college, and that was the result of going into something called maritime admiralty. So I had the best of the ocean, boats, and people working around oceans and boats and marinas and things like that, along with the overlay of law.
Understood. Now, if you had to pick one thing out of your day, what's the most exciting and favorite thing of being an attorney in this area of the law?
Pursuing new clients. I enjoy the pursuit of new clients and putting together a package to help them and obtain their goals. That, I think, has become part and parcel of generating new business, and in the legal profession, they call it making rain, and I do enjoy making it rain. And
if I may, who represents your ideal client? I mean, what are the types of issues that you're specifically exceptional at that you become maybe one of very few attorneys to choose from?
My ideal client over the last 22 years of practice has become someone who appreciates what it means to be proactive in their business life and in their business endeavors. Proactivity allows me to provide legal advice, strategy, and structure to an ongoing concern business. So if you ask me my ideal client, I want somebody that wants to stay out of trouble and can afford to pay an attorney, namely me, in order to do so. Second ideal client would be someone who has already fallen into trouble and now needs to get him or herself or the company out of trouble and retains me in order to do so.
Now, what type of trouble do you tend to help clients with? I mean, what's the typical, not to say that there is a typical, but what are the types of cases you deal with?
Well, primarily now it is a matter of insurance work representing insureds either in assistance with getting their insurance cases resolved through their insurance companies, business owners that have litigation matters that need to be pursued, business owners that need to take their business to the next level and quite possibly do not know how to do that. Young business owners, the entrepreneurs that are just starting out, that essentially need an attorney on their team, their executive committee, to help the executive decision maker or the principal of the company make decisions. So the practice areas can run the gamut from representing companies in commercial transactions, individuals with litigation, and entrepreneurs in setting up their companies on a firm foundation. And I use the pyramid process to set companies up with. And as a result, they can then go on doing what they do best. If that's providing a service or providing a product, my firm allows them to develop a very strong strategy moving forward.
Interesting. So, I mean, you're a strategic thinker as well. So it's not so much resolving casework, but it's more in terms of providing the right foundation for many of these businesses to be successful in the long run.
That is correct. I'm a great believer in an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Most attorneys make a very handsome living on the pound of cure aspect, but I would rather have the clients up front paying me for the prevention, because I know those clients are going to come back to me when they do run into trouble, if and when they run into trouble, or when they want to take their company or their going concern to the next level.
Understood. Now, what do you consider to be your biggest weakness?
Biggest weakness would probably be providing potential clients too much time to understand their particular situation, and allowing potential clients to obtain, I guess, what could be best described as free legal advice, to do it themselves, and then not retain the firm. So being too understanding is probably the biggest weakness.
Really? So you think that sometimes you get far too much information than is warranted given the relationship? Well,
you have to understand, now a lot of these potential clients, and I have over 22 years, have gotten much better at weeding the ones that are looking out for only the free legal advice.
Okay.
So essentially now my initial consultation has been shortened from 1/2 hour to 15 minutes.
Okay.
And I size them up during that period of time, and when the 15-minute ticker runs out, I make an informed decision as to whether or not I'm going to extend it any further. I had some success saying after 15 minutes, you understand that I will charge you, and I have run the gamut of responses to click on the telephone, very unprofessional when they hang up on me, to, sure, where can I send the check?
Understood. Now, let me ask you, given all the changes in technology that we've seen, how are you a big embracer of new technology? Because from what I can tell, some of these issues that you face are ones that could be addressed by just you producing content one time and making that type of free advice and making it available to people out there, whether it be through a webinar or some YouTube channel or what have you. That way you save yourself that agony and perhaps that wasted energy in clients that perhaps you're not going to become clients.
Well, to answer your pointed question, yes, I am a very big embracer of technology, because you're talking to someone who started with an IBM Selectric 2 typewriter and a mag card reader, if you know what those are,
okay.
To someone who has gone to laptops and cloud technology.
Okay.
So over the last 22 years, if you do not adapt as an attorney, you damn well better have a secretary or a staff that adapts, because you will be left behind.
Right.
And one of the great provers of that statement is quite honestly that the courts have now embraced in many jurisdictions across the United States and in the federal court system the e-filing technology, and now all filings must be done electronically. So if you don't know how to do it, you best have somebody that does, because you won't be able to file paper anymore.
Understood. But how are you using technology in terms, I mean, specifically, I'm responding to that weakness you identify. How are you embracing technology to address that? Because it seems to me it's a content issue.
Well, for me, it's a matter of the clients can come from a wide variety of sources. And my best clients are coming from referrals and not from lead generation companies, because those leads from the lead generation companies are often very poor and very weak, and those are the people that are looking for free advice so they can do it themselves.
Understood.
As far as the technology, I have developed a few quote-unquote white papers that allow people to understand the formation of a corporation, LLC, partnership. I've done a few white papers, seminars, and lectures that allow people to understand the difference between an employee and an independent contractor. And when somebody has a question like that, I will disperse that type of information to them, so they have a value-added takeaway from the conversations, but it certainly doesn't require me to reinvent the wheel every time I speak to somebody.
Right, because I guess that's what I was getting to, that you don't want to be reinventing yourself or redoing stuff that you could just do once.
Correct.
And what's your biggest strength?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Your biggest strength, what's that?
Biggest gripe.
No, strength, not gripe. Strength.
Oh, I'm sorry. Biggest strength.
Yeah.
The biggest strength is patience. I think I have the patience to see either a client through his or her or its individual challenges. And the second strength that goes along with patience is the ability to listen. Mainly because I employ the old philosophy that you were given 2 ears and 1 mouth, and they should be used in those proportions.
That's very wise thinking, I must say. I love it. And how do you like running your firm? I mean, you've been at it now for 22 years, so it would have.
Well,
I suppose you do like it, but maybe you don't.
I haven't run my firm for 22 years. I have been associated with a few firms. I have been a partner of a few firms, and I've run a company as its general counsel and executive vice president. I've been running the Kamula Law Group for about 5 years now, and as a lot of my attorney friends have said to me, you certainly know when to pick to start up a firm on your own during the years of 2007 and on. So I look at it from the standpoint of if I can make a go of it after the global economy melted down,
right.
Wall Street fizzled, the banks almost collapsed, and there's so much subsidization going on, I can pretty much do a pretty darn good job in a good economy. So I'm trying to get back to the good economy.
That's great. And any special insights you could share with potential clients about your different practice areas? I know you do a lot of things, but what things come out at you right now that they should be mindful of that perhaps they may not be aware of?
Well, I can only speak concretely to the practice areas that I'm involved in, right. And the tact that I take may be different than what a personal injury attorney does, or a divorce lawyer, or a bankruptcy attorney. But for me, for my ideal client, you definitely, with me, want to be proactive, and you also want to have an understanding that you get what you pay for. I love correcting problems generated by do-it-yourself programs. I've done a lot of those earlier on. However, for the clients that are sitting out there, I think it's important that you understand that you're going to pay for a legal opinion or a legal analysis or legal assistance. Once you get past the understanding that legal assistance is something that you do pay for, and it does have a value to it in terms of going on into the future, then the client becomes aware of deploying the attorney on their executive management team. And all of a sudden now, instead of somebody who's just generating a bill every month, that client now understands, oh, okay, this guy saved me X dollars, and he only charged me Y dollars. I'm ahead of the game. Or his trusted client of network providers has hooked me up with a commercial real estate broker, an insurance person, a banker, and now my executive management team, despite being one step removed from the immediate company, is all the more stronger because of the attorney's advice and network.
Understood. Makes sense. Now, if you had a chance to say one thing to a brand new client before they walked in the door, what would it be?
If you think legal assistance is expensive, try the flip side of waiting for the legal process to come after you. Don't delay. Always be proactive, because earlier on challenges, we don't have problems, we always have challenges. Challenges are surmountable. Sometimes problems have a negative connotation that they're insurmountable. Early challenges definitely can be surmounted with the proper assistance. And remember, for my clients, if they are just starting out, or if they have done something for 20 years and trying to look at it from a new vantage point in order to become more effective, more efficient, create a greater return on their investment, you should employ at least an attorney, a CPA, an insurance person, and a banker, and create that as part of your ongoing executive management team. Be proactive is the most important advice I can ever give to a potential client.
Well put, Matthew. I really want to appreciate your time for giving us that special insight and talking a little bit more about what brought you into the law and how you do an exceptional job servicing your clients. So I look forward to having another opportunity with you, of speaking to you.
Absolutely. I look forward to it too. Please contact me.
Indeed. Thank you, Matthew.
You're more than welcome. Bye-bye now.
Yeah.